Everyone is get suffer from sometimes in his life by this situation. Some burden is there, some thinking is there. Sometimes we feel very lonely. Sometimes we are so sad that is not able to discuss with anyone, not able to discuss anything. What is this? This is called as depression. So in our life, everyone has one stage once he had get suffer from a situation that we call as depression. But when this depression is up to certain limits, it is avoidable. But when the depression is above the limit, then it needs a treatment. Dear student, welcome to today's session, a lecture of drugs acting on depression, that is antidepressant drug. So in this chapter, what we are going to see? In this chapter, we are going to see what do you mean by the depression? What actually happens in depression? That is physiology of depression. Once we get an idea of physiology of depression, then it is very helpful for the treatment of the depression. So what is the line of treatment for the depression? What are the different drugs used for the depression? And what are its mechanism of action? From that, two different mechanisms usually using for the treatment of the depression. Today we are going to see one mechanism. So let's see with our today's lecture. What do you mean by the depression? First, we will see what is the depression. So how will you define it? Depression, it is a pathological disorder affected mood of the person, and it is characterized by some symptoms like sad mood, loss of interest and pleasure, low energy, worthlessness, guilty feeling, psychomotor retardation, change in appetite or sleep, and most important thingly, that he may have suicidal thought. So these are some general symptoms by which we can recognize that the patient is get suffer from the depression. Actually, what happens when any patient is in a depression condition? What happens when any patient is in a depression condition? In his body, there are certain neurotransmitters which are get disturbed. So, which are these neurotransmitters which are get imbalanced? So, this diagram gives an idea about this. Generally, the dopamine, serotonin, these are the important neurotransmitters in depression get reduced. The level of dopamine, level of serotonin is get reduced. Serotonin, which is also called as 5-hydroxytryptamine. So when we are having a treatment of depression, that is the most important thing, that we need to maintain a level of these neurotransmitters. And when we are maintaining this neurotransmitter level, that is nothing but patient is shifting from depression to a normal phase. So for that purpose, a usual line of treatment is an antidepressant. So antidepressant, these are the drugs which are used to remove the patient from a depression. These are the drugs which are used in treatment of depression are called as antidepressant. Generally, these are also called as mood elevator. What is the role of these drugs in depressive illness? That is nothing but elevation of mood. That is the main role. That to just change the role. Practically, what happened whenever, as we see in last diagram, so level of some neurotransmitters are get reduced. Why the level of neurotransmitter is reduced? Practically, all depressant affects monoaminergic transmission in a brain. Majorly affect monoaminergic transmission. Monoaminergic transmissions like noradrenaline, dopamine, serotonin, these are the monoaminotransmitters, and these transmitters are get affected. How they are get affected? They are get affected by some mechanism, that is reuptake or sometimes metabolized by some enzymes, likewise the possibilities. So this is what about the reason why there is a depression. So this is the cause that we have to find that affect this monoaminergic transmission can be controlled. So it's our role that try to maintain the level of this monoaminergic transmission in our brain. Usually this is an information that how our brain is get working in area, or how the neurotransmitters are get released. If you see here, if you see here, this is a presynaptic level, and here's these are some neurotransmitters. These are get released from this area in the synapses, and the synapses release area. These are some receptors. So as these receptors, as these amines are get released and get bind in the receptors, then some information is passing on. Like this, if you can see here, see when it is get bind, some energy get transmitted. This is a usual mechanism of transmission of message from one part to the another part, one part to the another part of the body by this mechanism that we call as a neurotransmitters. These are the neurotransmitters. So any type of neurotransmitter can work by this way. Actually, what happens again, same. This is a presynaptic neuron. This is a postsynaptic neuron. These are the some channels. These are the channels. So the channels are presently closed one. The channels are presently closed one. Why? Because the neurotransmitter is not get released. As the neurotransmitters are get released, it produces its effect. You can see like this here in this video. See, now it's a release of some neurotransmitter. As neurotransmitter released, it is get bind with this channels. See, once again, it is get released, get bind with channel. And due to the binding of the channel is get open, and again these ions are come inside the cell for the further process of action, for the further process of the action. As well as you can see, you can observe one more thing, that this how much a large quantity of neurotransmitters are get released in this synapses. In this synapses, only few are utilized here. Only few are utilized. Remaining are sometimes it get removed from this area, that area, or some are get reabsorbed in the cell. So you can see, observe here, it is get reabsorbed in a again presynaptic. So this is a mechanism. So how much quantity of neurotransmitters are needed, that are only utilized. Some are get removed, that is nothing but some are get metabolized from there, and some are get reuptake, reabsorbed. So that is the main mechanism. Some are get removed, and yes, some are get removed. Yes, they are removed, and some are get reabsorbed. This is the most important mechanism naturally occurring at this time, at this place. And due to this condition, and due to this condition, it is a necessary that we need to maintain this level of the neurotransmitter, the level of the neurotransmitter. And as there is a change in area, there is a possibility of some disorder, some possible disorder. So depending upon its mechanism, depending, I just shown you the two types. One is get totally metabolized from there, and some are get reactive. So these are the two mechanisms by which these antidepressant drugs are working. What are these? In what manner they are producing action? First class is monoamino oxidase inhibitor, which are also called as MAO inhibitors. So the examples are like isocarbazide, nilamide, molcarbamide, chlorgyline. These are the examples of monoamino oxidase inhibitor. Tricyclic antidepressant, it again bifurcated in two parts, subparts. First one is a noradrenaline and 5-hydroxytryptamine reuptake inhibitor, and second one is a predominantly noradrenaline reuptake inhibitor. Depending upon the conditions, these are mechanically acting. This is a specifically for the noradrenaline, but if you see, this is both for the noradrenaline as well as the 5-hydroxytryptamine. For the both, it is working. So this is what the tricyclic antidepressant. By this mechanism, that is the reuptake mechanism. It is working by the reuptake mechanism. So examples of noradrenaline and 5-hydroxytryptamine reuptake inhibitor are imipramine, amitriptyline, trimipramine, doxepamine. These are the some examples. And predominantly noradrenaline, these are the desipramine, nortriptyline, amoxicillin. These are the some examples. last class, which is a atypical antidepressant, like an trazodone, minaserine. These are the some examples from this class. So majorly, this is the classification of antidepressant that we are seeing. Today, we are going to discuss about the monoamino oxidase inhibitor. How these monoamino oxidase inhibitors are working, what is its mechanism of action, and what are its adverse effect, what is its therapeutic application, and what are its other pharmacological actions. So today we are going to discuss on this. So let's start the mechanism of action of monoamino oxidase inhibitor. So what is this monoamino oxidase? This monoamino oxidase is a mitochondrial enzyme. It is a mitochondrial enzyme. It is a mitochondrial enzyme which is present intracellular, in most of the tissues of the body. It is present in enzyme, that is nothing but it has a specific role. What it has a specific role? It has an oxidative deamination. It has an oxidative deamination. What do you mean by oxidative deamination? It does the oxidation. Deamination means the substances, chemical substances which are present with amine group. These amine groups are get removed from that area, that called as an oxidative deamination of some biogenic amines like adrenaline, noradrenaline, dopamine, 5-hydroxytryptamine. So these are the some important amines. These are the important neurotransmitters which are get metabolized by this monoamino oxidase inhibitor. By which mechanism? By oxidative deamination. These amines are normally stored in granules in neurons and are liberated by the nervous system. If you see this wonderful diagram gives information about this. In healthy synapse, what's happened? A large amount of these neurotransmitters are get released. We can just enlarge it to just identify it. So if you see, this is a presynaptic post and it's a postsynaptic. In presynaptic cases, what happens? These are the vesicles. From these vesicles, these neurotransmitters are get released. As these neurotransmitters are get released, the maximum quantity of these neurotransmitters are get bind with these receptors. These are the some receptors to this. They are get binding. As they are get binding, they go for the further action. Now, if you see, only few receptors are there which are get occupied by this neurotransmitter. But as compared to the number of receptors, these neurotransmitters are huge in quantity. So what to do about this? So here again, this enzyme is available. So what this enzyme does? This enzymes goes and started for the metabolism. Enzyme go and started for the metabolism. So whatever the extra quantity of this neurotransmitter is available, all these neurotransmitters started for the metabolism. Some are reabsorbed in our again presynaptic level, and maximums are get metabolized. So this is what the basic mechanism what happened in our every body. So this is the role of this body. This is the role of the enzyme. What happened when excess quantity of neurons are get released here? This is the most important thing. Majorly, what this monoamino oxidase inhibitor does, definitely the name inhibit, that is nothing but it inhibit. What it inhibit? This diagram gives you more idea about this. See, so this is a neurotransmitter. It is get released from this vesicle. Some of the neurotransmitters are get released and get bind with some receptor for the further action. Here two enzymes are available. One is COMT and another one is that is called as a MAO. What they are doing here? He is a MAO inhibitor. What this COMT and this MAO, what they are doing? This is a neurotransmitter which is get released from this vesicle. What they are doing? They are just metabolized. Here we can see this they are get metabolized from small minute drops, minute particles. They are get converted. That is nothing but metabolism. Here again, same. These mouse, what these mouse are doing? The mouse, they are using this neurotransmitter and get converted into the small transmitters. That is nothing but they are doing metabolism. So this is their role. that whatever the neurotransmitter is coming, they are converting this neurotransmitter into a small minute particle, small particle. That is the main important thing. And thus what these monoamine oxidase inhibitors are doing, they are inhibiting they are inhibiting the activity of this enzyme. And as the enzymes are get inhibited, the enzymes are get stopped, then sufficient quantity of these amines are get accumulated in a brain. That is nothing but what we want to raise the concentration of serotonin and dopamine at brain level, which results in excitement and enhancement of the further motor activities. This is the main rule of this monoamino oxidase inhibitor. They are blocked the monoamino oxidase inhibitor. This is only a simple mechanism. By this mechanism, they are active. Then next one is that what are the different pharmacological effects of these monoamine oxidase inhibitors? Usually this elevate the mood and depresses, which get depressed by the person, as well as once they are used, sufficient quantity of amines are get accumulated in a brain, and patient feels some energetic, less sleepy, as well as the fresh. The tendency for the suicidal intention is markedly diminished. This is the most important benefit because it's monoamine oxidase inhibitor. That suicidal intention is markedly diminished. With cardiovascular system, it do not exert any specific action on heart. So some of the small emitters are can produce hypotension, like paralgin. They may produce hypotension, but other doesn't have that much effect. Some other effect like these drugs have potential action on sympathomimetics amines like ephedrine, and by preventing their inactivation. That is one of the very important thing, that ephedrine like some amines are there whose sympathomimetic action is get activated, potentiated. Why? Because the some enzymes or the system which inhibit or which prevent the further action, which is get inhibited by some drugs. That's why some sympathomimetic actions could be observed. What are the adverse effect? Some adverse effect like patient may go show some headache or disturbances in sleep because sufficient quantity of exciting neurotransmitter like noradrenaline, norepinephrine are get activated or get released in our body, and that's why he could feel a little bit energetic, as well as the patient also feels some tremors as well as some convulsions, some ataxia, hyperreflexia. Immediately he tried to give the action effect, hyperthermia, body temperature is little bit increased, as well as he may get observe one effect that called as an twitching. Twitching means it is get stuck somewhere, immediately it gets stuck where. So was he giving some performance and immediately at certain point they are get stuck, that we call as, just like he all other things activities are performing everywhere in surrounding, but it is get stuck at with one point, so that is called as a twitching. Next one is that other than with autonomic nervous system, sometimes patient is showing dryness of the mouth as well as blurred vision is observed with this energy, because as you know it very well, uh, this sympathetic nervous system is get innervated in eye with respect to the eye. If you see, sympathetic nervous system is get innervated to the radial muscle, and constriction of the radial muscle is related to the dilation of the pupil, and due to the dilation of the pupil there is improper judgment of the vision. That's why there is a possibility of the blurring of the vision, impotency, inability to feel a sexual pleasure, difficulty in maturation. These are the some adverse effect that could get observed with the treatment of monoamino oxidase inhibitor, as well as hepatic jaundice is a major side effect with this, and one of the possibility is an allergic reaction. So these are the some adverse effect with this. So this is what about that monoamino oxidase that we want to discuss with you. So in what manner this monoamino oxidase produces its action, and if monoamino oxidase are give, what are the possible adverse effect that we had seen. So this is what about our today's lecture. If anything is more about this particular topic, then let me know. I would like to clear you as much as possible. Thanks for listening you. Thank you.